Hey everyone, Kumar Dattatreyan here with Agile Meridian, joined by Chris Daly for our Agile short series. And today we actually started ranting about this a few minutes before we hit the record button. I forgot to hit the record button. We had some really juicy stuff. We're going to try to recapture that energy that we had. And we're really talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and Agile. And coaching, right? Coaching, our roles, what happens to us when the machine takes our jobs? And will it take our jobs? Will it render us obsolete, right? Because you can just chat with an AI chatbot that's named Laura or whoever and get all the answers to your Agile questions or your coaching business questions in the future. So with that, I'm going to turn it to Chris, and maybe we can try to recreate our rant from a few minutes ago. Can you kind of recap, bring back up what you were talking about, AI this and AI that?
Sure. So AI is the buzz right now, right? It's the buzzword. Everything has got, AI in it, right? My light switch has AI in it. My chair has AI in it. My milk has AI in it. I mean, that's okay. Maybe I'm going a little bit far, but you get the idea, right? Everything's got AI, and it's very similar to what we saw with cloud computing, what we saw with DevOps, right? DevOps, what started out was a mindset, right, of bringing the developers closer to the deployment, and the engineers, and going to production and increasing that collaboration, and then you start hearing about DevOps tools, and it's like, okay, now we're installing Heroku, so therefore we're DevOps. And it's not that at all, right? I mean, everything is DevOps, whether we talk about Synthesia, which I use sometimes, we talked about Jasper, we talked about Surfer, SEO, we talked about Chat GPT, but everything's got AI in it anymore. And I'm already getting tired of everybody going, we got to go do AI. What is AI, right? Most people don't really understand what it is. And I think we just need to cut through all the marketing buzz and all the marketing BS and just break it down into what it really is. It's a tool that we can use. It's another tool we can use. And we should be taking that instead of going, I got AI, let's go see where we can apply it. We should be looking for problems to solve. If AI is the right tool to help solve that problem, great, wonderful. But, it's that analogy. I got a hammer so everything looks like a nail, right? And you can't just go out and say, I'm going to apply AI. I don't think it's that big of a change, because what we're talking about is, how do you apply this stuff? Do you really need Chat GPT? Most people, I'm guessing, don't need Chat GPT. Might influence Google a little bit, but most people probably don't need it. They could get by just fine without it, especially with where it is right now.
I would argue that when Google first came out, and internet came out, and Google first came out, most people didn't need search, but now it's an indispensable part of everyone's life. It's become part of the vernacular. If you don't know something, you go Google it. And maybe 10 years from now, if you don't know something, you just ask your chatbot robot friend for the answer. And maybe it's embedded in your brain and you don't have to ask anything. It just pops up in your head because you thought it. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm not of the mind that AI is only a tool. To me, it's a paradigm shift in the type of tool that it is. And it's already causing huge waves in certain industries. It has replaced its job in the marketing field, for instance, content writing and things like that, where you replace a team of content writers with maybe one or two content writers that have some experience using these tools, and they can churn out a lot of content. May not be as good. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's good enough. I don't know.
That I keep coming back to this. That acronym of that thing I learned early on when I was back in the good old days with the punch cards. Garbage in, garbage out. You have to be very careful, because what we're doing right now is we're just speeding up how quickly we produce garbage. And we're just going to make more shit. I mean, I probably shouldn't use that term in a video, but that's what's going to happen. If you don't know how to use the tool, you're gonna create a bunch of crap. And I think we ought to be focusing on the other aspects of it. One of the key things, and you went there a little bit, is I think it's less important to understand AI right now and just acknowledge instead of saying, oh, we need to go learn AI, what we need to be learning as individuals, as companies, as a race, members of this world is how are we going to adapt to the things that are going on, and that embracing change aspect. Because to me, it's not a big deal. I think about when I started, I mentioned earlier, I used punch cards. Today, you use Visual Studio or you use some other editor, right, to code. So is Visual Studio AI? Is Grammarly AI? Grammarly, you've read my stuff. My grammar is terrible when I write. I use Grammarly to help improve things. Just candid, I use it to help improve things. Is that AI? It not only finds words I misspelled, it now also finds where I've got grammatical errors, and it restructures sentences. Is that AI?
I would argue it is, because it's an intelligent assistant that helps you write better and sound better and all those things. And we have been for years using AI assistants without even really realizing it. The autocomplete on our phones when we start texting someone and we get a suggestion to complete the word, or in Gmail, we have an autocomplete suggestion that we're using. It's AI that's built into these systems that suggests the next word or the next phrase or whatever it might be. And we are now becoming more conditioned to use these types of tools. And Chat and its competitors, Bard and Claude and all these tools that are out there I don't want to say version, because it's such a paradigm shift from what we've been using and what we've been used to, like Grammarly and autocomplete and things like that, because the latest versions of Bard and Claude are connected to the internet, and so you can do research very quickly. And what would have taken you hours or days using just Google search to research all the articles out there can be done in a matter of minutes, because these AI tools can go research everything on a topic and give you an annotated list of all the articles that it used to formulate the response to the question that you asked. So what's that going to lead to in the future? I don't know. This is a rhetorical question. I mean, I think it's great that you can do these things with these tools, and I'm not saying we shouldn't use AI or we should shun it. Quite the contrary. I use it all the time. And you do too. I just read an article that you posted that was AI generated, or at least partially AI generated.
Right. Yep.
Right. And we use tools like Synthesia, as you mentioned, and Pictory to edit our videos and add captions and add B-roll and this and that and so on. So we've become very proficient in this age of AI, maybe not as much as other people have, like the marketers and things like that. But we are using it, and I'm seeing evidence of these tools being used to create chatbots, video chatbots that in many cases replicate humans or replace them. So I do professional coaching for a platform I won't name, and they have an AI coach. And you could choose, if you don't want a human coach, because that can be stressful for some people. You have a problem and you like to talk to someone, you can choose the AI bot to talk to. And it looks like a human. They sound like a human. And you ask your questions. It asks coach type questions back to you. And you have a conversation with this coach bot. And you come away from the session with some insights. Because really, when you think about it, a coach primarily asks questions. And so why couldn't they do that? They have the entire history of the universe at their fingertips, if you will, of the next question to ask that's appropriate based on what you're saying to them. So I'm not saying that coaches are going away. All I'm saying is that as humans, we have to really work on our craft as coaches, Agile coaches, professional coaches, whatever it may be. There are a lot of crappy coaches out there, and AI is going to eat your lunch. What do you say to that?
I would agree with that. I think they're going to get their lunch eaten anyway. I mean, I think the crappy coaches eventually go away over time. We've had a couple of market We've had a couple things in the market that have gotten where it got to the point where it was almost a have to have. I've got to have this.
Yeah.
And that skill set prompted prices go up, right? Salaries go up, and that prompts people to come out and be coaches, right? People that shouldn't be coaches. And I think the market will take care of them. But yeah, they're going to, the question really is not, is it going to replace coaches? But how are you as a coach going to use those tools? Because that's what they are, right? We can, even your little chatbot friend that is AI, right? That's office coaching advice, right? That offers some disadvantages, right? Over a human, right? Accountability, right? I mean, we all have had tasks that pop up where we use some task management software and we just ignore it, right? We get emails that tell us we need to do this stuff and we just hit delete or we swipe. The same kind of thing is going to go on, I think, for a while. And, I think we need to focus as coaches on how do we point the AI at the problem, right? Rather than saying we've got the tool and here it is, let's just apply it. Where are the problems and what are we trying to fix with it and be intentional about it? And I would say that that's what the tools that I've used that are quote AI, right? And we could have a debate for hours or days talking about, is it really AI or not, right? Or is it just deep, is it machine learning and deep learning that have, they just know from a percentage standpoint what to say when this is prompted, right? Were you going to say something?
No, I'm agreeing.
Okay. I think we as coaches just need to figure out how we're going to use it, and an idiot with a tool is still an idiot, right? We need to help people focus on being able to understand how to engage with the tools. And I think that's where it really is, from a coach's standpoint, we're going to use those tools. I think it's going to make us more effective when we can start doing things like we can go through and, information is out there on the internet, but the analysis of it and providing it at the right time, I think that the AI will help us in that standpoint, but I still think it's going to take a human to look at it and go, okay, I think this particular client of mine is ready for this, right? There's just an intuition to it. And I'm, by the way, not opposed to AI at all. I use it all, the AI features, I use them all the time. But this hype of AI is that, everything is AI and, it's, we need to focus. I mean, you got to kind of focus on, okay, what problem am I solving and will this help it, right? Will this new surfer solve it? Will this new, how do I use Chat GPT to generate something, right? We generated a letter this morning and we went in to use Chat GPT to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a fantastic tool, but to your point, it is a tool, and you still have to review the output of this tool, or you can get burned. It can make, you said an idiot with a tool is still an idiot. Well, sometimes a smart person with a tool like this can look like an idiot because we tend to over-rely on these types of tools to be, yeah, it's chat, it's great, it's going to give me a great result, I don't have to check it. And you still do have to check it because it could be wrong. There's all forms of it, to your point. I drive a Tesla, it's got full self-driving, but does that mean I can sit in the front seat, my hands full, and let the car drive? No, because it's not there yet. It needs a human to hold the wheel and to pay attention because it's not there yet. It doesn't mean it's not going to be there. And so I like your point that it is a tool. We have to learn how to use it. We have to adapt to it. And humans are adaptable. If nothing else, we will learn how to use the crap out of these AI tools. And for better or for worse, we're going to learn how to use them. And will it take jobs? Probably. It already has. There's evidence that some jobs are going away because of these AI tools. But there are also jobs being created from it. You yourself mentioned before we got on the video that your company's looking to create courses for prompt engineers. That wasn't even a term a year ago. What the heck is a prompt engineer? And so, and for those of you listening, I'm sure you know what that is, but we didn't have that term a year ago. And now, of course, it's a position that people can make a lot of money at, writing the right questions, the right prompts for chat and other chatbot tools like Chat GPT to produce a reasonably good output that can be usable. And there's new jobs out there.
I was reading an article the other day about AI and the loss of jobs. And, this is kind of a cliche story, but when the automobile came out, right, the buggy whip manufacturer got reduced down because you didn't need buggy whips anymore because people were buying cars. But there's still buggy whips. You can still buy those today. And that's the point it was trying to make, is that the automotive industry created a lot of jobs that more than offset the guys that were out making buggy whips. Now, did they have to go find something else or embrace something else? Yeah, they did. And that part's unfortunate. But, as you move forward, there are new opportunities out there. And this buzz about AI will create some new opportunities, right? Those copywriters, the people that do the copy, can become, you and I've experienced this. You got to word your queries right to get the right outcomes, right? Maybe those copywriters are the ones that can transfer into that prompt engineer type job, right?
Possible, yeah. AI is going to keep getting better, though, at a rate that we can't even fathom. And so that presents both opportunity and dilemma, right? Because we have 8 billion inhabitants on this planet, and most economies are still reliant on human labor and capital to make the world go around. A lot of jobs are being automated. What happens to all these people? What do they do for work, right? So that's a larger conversation than what we can probably get into in this Agile short, but suffice it to say, AI is here. It's been here for a while. We've been using it for a while. Of course, now it's a different paradigm, different world, and we will adapt and figure out ways to use this new tool to its fullest potential.
10 years from now, you and I are going to get together and we're going to laugh about this blog post, right? Because it's going to mean something completely different. We're going to go, what were we thinking then, right? Either we're going to have the Back to the Future effect, right? Where we don't have flying cars when they said we would, or we're going to be going, wow, we were really wrong here. Look where we're at now. So we as heroes will go through that. So
yeah, all right, yeah. Who knows what's going to be in 10 years? Maybe I'll just upload my consciousness to the cloud, and we'll talk to each other that way.
That would be interesting.
That would be. Right. Well, thanks for watching this little sidebar rant into AI, and I'd say that the connection to Agile is in our ability as people, as humans, to adapt to AI, to whatever the next tool is that's out there, the next big innovation, right? Because that's what we do as humans. So thanks for watching.
Thanks,
see you all.